So now after putting on the icon, the next thing is I am also going to put on another property on it. Okay. So as you guys can see, I do have the text, I do have the logo. Hello everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the Flutter tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 13, where we'll be learning about the navigation drawer. Okay, so we will learn that how you can add a navigation drawer inside your application, and also how you are going to actually edit that. Like they do have basically two parts. One part is basically the header, and the other part is the list style. Okay, where you will basically have your number of lists, how you can add actions to those. So let's not waste much time, and let's see how those things are basically done. So now from net or from your search engine, if you guys go and search the navigation drawer, let's take the first image, and this is how your navigation drawer will actually look like. Okay. So on the side, you guys can see I do have a lot of options, and also with each of these right over here, I do have icons as well as I do have the name of the option. Okay. So the navigation drawer is basically divided into two basic parts. So all these options underneath the options starting from my files till backup are known as the list style option. And on top here, you guys can see this particular thing is basically known as the header option. Okay. So now I will show you guys how you can work and basically create those things. So now over here on my screen, as you guys can see, this is the same application in which we guys were working. And over here, now we are going to first hide the bottom navigation or bottom navigation bar in which we guys were working. Okay. So till now, we have learned about the app bar, the floating action button, the bottom navigation bar, and the next thing we are going to learn is actually the drawer. Okay. So first, let me just type drawer. Okay. And inside drawer, now again, I have to mention the class known as drawer. Okay. So let's type drawer. And once you type drawer, now let's open and close parenthesis. Okay. So now I do have added open and close parenthesis. Now let's click on enter. And once you've clicked on enter, by default, you guys can see that it is showing you that this is actually a drawer. Okay. So if I just click on Control S right now, you guys can see on my emulator, I already have this open navigation menu. So if I just open this one, there is nothing inside my drawer yet. Okay. So now here we are basically going to work. Okay. And over here, so the same way as we were looking in net, that how you can actually add all these list items, I will show you guys how you guys can do that. Okay. And already I have told you that these items are basically divided in two different parts. Okay. So one is the list style, and the other one is the header type. Okay. So there you do have to use a parameter which is known as child. Okay, so I need to make sure that I put on child, and inside this child parameter, I need to mention that I want to have all of or most of my options in list view. Okay, so let's come here and I will just type list view. Okay, so as you guys can see, I do have this list view option. And once I have this list view option right over here, inside this child, as I have already mentioned it right over here, that this is going to be a list view, and inside this child parameter, to add the items that I do want to add inside my list, I will add another parameter which is known as children. Okay, so inside this child parameter, if I'm putting on list, I can also add children option to put out the items accordingly. Okay, so I do have written children. Now let's come here and let's click on enter. And the first thing what I'm going to do is I am going to put on the header. As I have already told you that those things are divided in two different parts. So the first one is drawer header. Okay. So drawer header. And now inside this child, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I am adding on a text. And now let's open parenthesis right over here, open double quote, and I will just type Flutter app. Okay, so I'm just going to name the top part as Flutter app. And again, I am going to use out a comma. And the same way, now I will just click on enter. And as I'm done with the header, now I'm going to use list options. Okay, so for that, now I will just type list tile. Let's open parenthesis in the list tile, and I am going to give these things title. Okay, so title colon text. Then I'm just going to open parenthesis. Then I'll just put on the double quote, and I'm just going to name those things accordingly. Okay, so the first one is home. Let's put out a comma and let's click on enter. And let's come here, and I'm just going to copy the whole string using Control C, Control V, Control V back again, Control V over here. Let's click on enter and let's put on Control V here as well. Okay, so this is basically going to be the header. Okay, and underneath over here I do have all the titles. Okay, so let me just change the name. Okay, so I will just put your order, and then I'll just put your address. Then I will just type help, and lastly I will just put contact us option. Okay, so let's come here, let's put out the comma right over here. So now if I just click on Control S, okay, so here you guys can see this is basically showing me some error at first. Okay, so for that, now if I just come here, if I just open it up, you guys can see in the header option, I do have this written as Flutter app. And after that, here in the list style. First, I do have home. Secondly, I do have your order. Third, I do have your address, or instead, I will just come here, Control S, and if I just open this here, you guys can see address, help, and contact us option. Okay. So inside this drawer, first I do have created the header, then I do have created all of this list accordingly. So till now we have learned how you can add all of this text over here. So the next thing over here, what we are going to learn is that how you are going to basically add on icons. Okay. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here onto the starting of the bracket, and I'm going to basically add out a new option. Okay. So I will just type leading. Okay. So I'll just type leading, and after that, I will just give you guys out a colon. And now I will just type icon, and inside that, or let me just first divide this one. Okay, so let's go with icon. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to type icon dot. And over here, as this is the home page, so I can just type icon dot home. Okay, so let's see how it actually works. So icon dot let's go with home option. Okay, so I'll just select the same home. Okay, so icons dot home, and the title is text is going to be home. And after that, over here now I do have the other options as well. Okay, so for that now let's click on Control C to copy, Control V to paste it, and the same way Control V, Control V, and Control V as well. Okay, so this particular five options actually have these five different texts, but over here now I also want to change the icon. Okay, so let me just come here and let's type order, and after that I will just go with or here icons dot, and let's come here and let's see what are the options available. Okay, so let's go with icons dot, and you guys can just come down and you guys can work accordingly as well. Okay, so let's come here, let's take this thing out. So let's come here and let's put icons dot, and here you guys can see add outline box. Okay, so I'll just add this particular box, and now again over here, and I will just type address. Okay, so icons dot address. Okay, so icons dot address. So you guys can come here and basically search, okay, from here. So let's take this one for address. And now I'll just go with icons dot help. And here I do have the icon. And now I will just go with contact. And over here now I can just take any contact page as possible. So let's come here. And if I just click on Control S to save it. Now if I just open it, here you guys can see. Now I also do have the emojis as well. Okay. So if you just take out a look, so over here we do have learned that how you can create a bottom navigation bar, and inside the child I do have the list view, and there is drawer and header attached, and underneath over here we do have 5 list tiles. Okay, so you need to make sure of that as well. So now after putting on the icon, the next thing is I am also going to put on another property on it. Okay. So as you guys can see, I do have the text, I do have the logo. But the next thing is, let's say if I just click on this one, I want to show up a pop-up message. Okay. So you guys already know that over here under the class home activity, I have created a function which is known as my message. Okay. So now let's come here. And what I'm going to do is I am going to add a new parameter. So let's come here, comma, on tap. Okay. So let's go with on tap. Now let's open parenthesis. And now let's open out the curly braces which I have. So let's open out the curly braces, and inside the curly braces I am going to name the function or call the function first, which is my message. Okay, so my message, and inside the my message function you do have two properties. First one is the message and the second one is the context. Okay, so over here what I'm going to do is I am going to open parenthesis and I am going to type home page, Control S, and after that now let's come here and let's try to copy this whole thing. Okay, so come here. First is leading, putting on the icon, then the text, and after that then the disappointing layout till now, but let me make it more interesting. Okay, so over here I do have added the on tap as well. And again, what I'm going to do is let's come here and let's add this one. Control C to copy, or let's delete this comma, or let's keep this particular comma. right over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a colon as well, or basically a semicolon. Okay. So now again, I will come here and I'll just copy the same thing in these other uh, places as well. So before that, what I can also do is here you guys can see. Now, as I do have this particular list style, you guys can see I do have three things. So first the icon, then I do have the title, then also I do have the on-tap message. So instead of quite writing like this, what I can also do is I can come here and basically I can work with all these options accordingly. So let's click on enter from here. And after that, now let's click on enter over here back again. Now let's click on enter. And here you guys can see automatically it shows me that this is a list style. Okay. So this is a lot easier to understand because here in the list style, you guys can see in leading what is basically the icon, in title, what is going to be the text, and on tap, you guys can also see it right over here as well. Okay. So for that, again, if you want to type your thing down on tap options, you guys can do that. And if you want to delete these other options as well, you guys can also delete the other options right over here. So now you guys can see I do have created this list title. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm just going to delete this whole thing out. Okay. And from here, let's click on enter. And first, let me just Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and Control V to paste, Control V to paste again. Okay. So over here, you guys can see in total, basically, I do have 4 list style. Okay. So first one is fine. Icon is icons dot home, and the next one is I will just put the title as your order, and this one as address, and the last one as contact us. Okay. So over here, I will just put out on tab. What do I want to see? So contact us. You can contact us through email. Okay, so that is what I do want to show. And over here, you guys can see address, uh, and I will just put on view your addresses. And after that, now let's come here on top. Text is your order, and uh, my message is view your orders, and the home page is fine. Okay, so over here, now this particular icon is fine, but over here now let's go with icon dot, and from here now you guys can just add a circle maybe. Okay, so Let me just go with this add box outlined. And the same way now, I will just go with dot address or dot location. So let's come here and I will just select this option. And lastly, dot contact. Okay, so I'll just keep out this contact option. And here you guys can see now in total, I do have these 4 list types. Okay, so now control S to save it, and you guys can see now my application have restarted. So if I just open my navigation bar, now you guys can see I do have these 4 options, and once I click on this home, you guys can see here it shows home page. Once I click on your order, here it shows view your orders. And once I click on address, here it shows viewer addresses. Lastly, contact us shows you can contact us through email. So that's how it actually works. And individually, you guys can work with this list tile and try to make it simpler. Okay, as simple as you can. Try to make it that way. Okay, so over here now you guys can just minimize these things and you guys can just keep these things right over here. Okay, so as you guys can see, we have learned about the drawer, and here you guys can see as a header. Okay, this drawer header, I only have used this word. So, or the parameter which I have used is only child, and also I have used only text. So there are also different options if you do want to change the background color. Okay, we will learn how you can edit the header option inside your drawer as well. So I hope till this much it's clear. So I hope to see you all in the next chapter where we're gonna learn more about Flutter and all its usage. So see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye everyone.